couple of months ago, people were asking in the streets, what's your greatest fear in life? And they said rejection. But can we go through life without rejection, without failures? Sometimes we assume that life after school is going to be straight. You graduate, get a job, get a car, get a house, get married, or graduate, get a house, get married, have babies, travel around the world. But reality hits us. That is never a smooth journey, it has highs and lows. Sometimes caused by us, sometimes not caused by us, and external factors we cannot control. Today on The Girl Who Can, I have two strong women with me. Women who have gone through all the highs and lows in life, and are going to share with us how to be resilient as a girl who can. Stay tuned. Once again, I'm your host, Joyce Ochoa Suyako, on The Girl Who Can. We'll be back. Welcome back. So I have with me, like I said, two powerful, strong women. I'll let them do their own introduction. I'll start with you, Ewoenam.
Thank you very much for having me, Joyce. And I just want to say, keep it up, keep up the good work with what you're doing with The Girl Who Can. Keep empowering young girls to be their better self. My name is Ewoenam Yako. I'm an executive assistant at Africa Fair.
Okay.
I'm a self-motivated lady, results oriented, and I'll say I'm determined, and I everything I set to do, I make sure I achieve it. So that's just something brief about me.
And that's true about women. When she sets her mind to something, she attains it. Guys, Mina is no new face to you. She's been on our YouTube channel. She's been all over, right? Like Mina and I have had our back and forth on YouTube, and now we're making it to TV. Mina, high five. So let's go.
Yeah, congratulations to you for
congratulations to us.
Okay, yeah.
Elizabeth inclusive that we've made it this far, right?
Yeah, I'm glad that we've been able to scale to this level. So yeah, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mina Ewoenam. I'm the Participant Engagement and Outreach Manager for the UN Global Compact Network Ghana. And for me, Joyce, me already know, and everybody in the room knows. My aim in life is to have peace and be happy. So whatever I do, I have to make sure that I'm doing it in a manner that will yield the fruit of happiness, the fruit of peace. And what that means to me is that putting in my best, because that's when you can sit back and say, okay, I've really done what I really wanted to do, and I'm reaping the results of it. So yeah, that's basically it about me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like I said, powerful women. Ewoenam, when did life knock you down?
Oh,
Can you run me through what happened then? That's if you don't mind sharing. How did you pick yourself up? We'll come to that later.
life knocked me down a few times while growing up, but the one that was really challenging was after COVID.
COVID.
After COVID, I was working as a sales and business development manager, and we were in the tourism sector. So when the lockdown occurred, people were not traveling around. I mean, business was flat. So after lockdown, business, or where I was working with, had to partially close down. And from there, I was home doing my own thing, trying to revive daddy's business. And so I had some savings. I will never forget this. I had some savings. I had wanted to travel with it. And then, so after COVID, I think somewhere 2021, I went back to school at UPSA to do my master's in procurement management.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I was like, okay, what can I do with the money that I had? I took this money and said I wanted to do business with it, and I got scammed. Oh, I got scammed. Everything just went, disappeared. So I was broken.
Business was down.
Yeah, business was down. Job was also down.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, and being the firstborn also, it was crazy. And I had to keep this thing within me because I couldn't have told my parents about what happened. So they don't even know because they'll be worried, and I'm sort of their strength. So you cannot rather give this news to them that you lost everything, they'll be worried than me myself. So I just kept it to myself. I told a few friends. I went to the CID headquarters. It didn't, it proved futile. So I just had to gather the pieces. People tried to reach out because they were not seeing like how I was. I got broken. I had a bad breakout. Like I was just reacting badly to everything. So yeah, I lost everything, but by the grace of God, I restructured Daddy's construction business, and then we started doing something. I started gathering the pieces together, and then I found myself back up. Very tough, very tough.
Being scammed.
Yeah.
You know that I think the people part about being scammed is not just losing the money, but feeling like, was I just like, that?
Yeah, like
I wasn't smart enough. I know I'm a smart person.
it happened. The person was standing right in front of me, and I handed the money to the person, and it didn't even click to me that it was
happening. And so you're like, how did it happen? And you know when you're telling yourself, like, I should have known better.
Yeah.
Because if you've been scammed, you never know better. The whole process.
Honestly, you are scammed, you never know.
Look, it just happened. You lose your job, you lose your money, and you're like, okay, you want to start another thing, and before you know, everything, like, it just happened like a flash of light. I was just indoors for the whole time. This was in 2022, almost close to 40K.
Oh.
So you can imagine.
I had lots of money.
I didn't have one CD. It was bad.
It's like, that thing when you're about waking up and it's like, stunning. It's like when you're in the when life knocks you down, you're crying in the bathroom and everything. Today you're talking about saying nothing.
Yeah.
But 2 years
before every time I open my mouth, tears, and I just had to stop talking about it, because the more you talk about it to people, they feel you're stupid. How did you lose this?
Exactly. That's
so,
the thing.
and they will not even help you. So I just said, you know what? I surrender to Jesus. Then I moved on.
Mina.
I moved on.
So even before I share my personal experience, I think that every young girl should know that rejection is part of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I strongly believe that 80% of the rejection you face in life has nothing to do about you. So it's not you. It's not like you're not beautiful enough. It's not that you're not smart enough. It's part of life. So you being able to navigate through when such occurrences happen to you is what makes you a girl who can. And yeah, so for me, I would take it from my professional life. And I know Joyce way back, like from uni days, we were all doing Modi UN. And Modi UN gives you the exposure. I mean, you're meeting big people, you're meeting smart people, and your colleagues feel that, for you, your life is figured out. So I work with the mindset that, right after school, I'm going to get a good opportunity. I'm going to do my service at Ministry of Foreign Affairs, then progress, become a diplomat at the end of the day.
Ambassador.
We still want to get that. Definitely you get there. Just that, the path is now not that straightforward. So yeah, I completing school with that mindset. My grades were not that bad. I mean, second class upper.
Yeah, I also had second class.
With a GPA, which was fairly good and all that. And you finish? And could you believe I struggled to even get a place to do my service? Yeah. When the online one came, I checked and I had UNDP. I was like, at least it's still part of the diplomacy world. Then I would go to print it some few days later. It was Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I go through the hassle and tussle to get this whole thing, paperwork done.
Yeah.
I get to Foreign Affairs and I'm told the place is full. So I have to go for reposting. And now, where am I to be reposted to? That's also another tussle. Back and forth, back and forth. So I had to literally be searching for NGOs with openings and stuff like that. You're calling, they tell you that national service people have already come in. And imagine seeing those whose life you were way much above, like getting good places, and some have already started and you're now searching on the net, trying to figure out your next step. So even national service alone gave me panic attack. How much more post-national service? So fast forward, I've gotten a place to do my service with an NGO, which I thank God I did. And we are about ending national service. Where next?
Yeah.
Do you believe I applied to 24 organizations? And I think I did beyond. It was when I got to 24 that I realized that if I don't stop, I'm going to go crazy. Because I had to literally write. So whenever I apply, I
write
it in my book, take. So those I get feedback from, I take. Those I don't get, I just see if I can get any response from there. Then that whole only qualified applicants will be contacted. So if I wait for 2 weeks, a month, then I go like, okay, I wasn't qualified. So that's that period, and still not looking forward to a bigger opportunity, applying, developing yourself to tap into these opportunities, and still not being accepted. It's one major rejection point for me, and that has been tough.
Life can be
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah, that has been tough. Yeah.
Tough. And rejection is such that at a point, I don't think you ever get used to rejection.
Not at all.
No matter how many times you are rejected or if you go down, failure is never something you get used to. You probably know how it feels like to feel, but it's not something you learn to accept, because as humans, we are always aiming something bigger and greater. Ewoenam, can you share with me, basically, did this have it? Of course, it affected you. Which part of your life do you think it affected most? And how did you see that if I was going down the rabbit hole and I didn't want to get there?
So, at the time, I was still the secretary for Union Development for National Youth of Ghana Students. I had a lot of projects, programs I wanted to implement with Ghanaian students, and that was when this whole thing happened. So I was broken because I didn't have the strength to even gather the students around, talk to them. And amidst that, I was still applying for jobs. I literally slept on LinkedIn the whole day. LinkedIn has this setting what you want. So there's customer service, there's sales, and there's administrative, there's this, there's that. I applied, like in a day, I can apply like 10 without, hoping that they'll call. One day, I actually broke down because you opened the mail. Thank you for applying.
It has a point.
Thank you for applying to that company. Unfortunately, I said, okay, let this pass. It kept, happening. Then one day, I got like 5 rejection messages in a day. 5. I was like, what wrong? Like, what did I do to deserve this? But what I want to say to every girl out there is that, look, rejection is something you need to understand. Whoever you may be, it will hit you. Whether you are beautiful, you are short, you are tall, you are whatever, it will hit you. But how to get past that? That's what makes you the girl who can. So how I did that was that I kept, applying till last year. I didn't get anything from there. But it didn't stop me from applying, because I always apply the 10x rule from Grant Cardone. He's saying that everything you do it times 10. If you are talking to 10 people, 20 people, oh, I want a job, I want this, I want that, times 10. Definitely, if you read like 100 people, at least 2 to 5 people should be able to listen to you. So, I mean, I still kept on going. I kept encouraging myself that, well, maybe I'm not the best fit for them. That company wasn't also a best fit for me. The company that I would be a best fit for would eventually find me. And that was what happened where I landed the executive assistant role. Gradually or eventually, somebody, appreciated the skill that I had, the experience that I had, and then that was how I went
So
past that.
you realize that I can't give up because I need this. I can't.
If you're giving up, who is going to you need to push yourself sometimes. You have to keep going. One day I was on a project, and then there were different tribes. I was the only Ewe or Ewe. Then the guy was like, somebody told them they should come to me for some clarification. And then the guy mentioned my name. It's like, now they need to I was like, I was so broken. I didn't even tell the project lead. I just kept going because I knew that it will come one day. So look, people will throw things at you. People will say you are not fit for this. You are not. Even in a relationship, at a point, the guy said, "Oh, my parents don't like airways, so this, that." I want to tell every girl what you need that. Look, so primitive of them. Whichever family or parent or guy who thinks that he doesn't like you for the tribe you are, look, it's his loss. Go back, work on yourself, develop yourself, get that skill you want, hit the gym, work out, get right where you want to see and be that. So that's what I want. Keep going. Like you cannot stop. Keep going till you get the results you want. You can't stop. When you stop, newsflash, you have to start all over again. So rejection, no matter, even Jesus Christ was rejected at a point, but later he became the cornerstone in Acts 4:11. And so even the Bible says rejection will hit us. So my dear, my dear lady or girl who can, rejection will hit you. You can fall down, but gather your pieces and keep going. Keep going and let the sky be your limit. And trust me, you'll be happy and fulfilled. You did not give up on yourself and kept going amidst the rejection.
Wow. Mina, I want to touch on relationships, and I know this is an area I've always because I feel like women should sometimes know, like when it's all about relationships. I'm not saying it's all, but sometimes I think, but I'm happy to bring it up about rejection because quite a number of women, or young girls, now you're in a world where you have to look apart. You have to look this way. You can't afford to gain too much weight. You can't afford to be too skinny. Your skin has to glow. Your hair has to every part of you has to glow.
It has to glow.
It is good, right? That you need to look nice. But to the extent that now some people begin to lose themselves and they are being rejected if you don't look like what someone looks like. And even in terms of tribe, things you can't change. How, what do you do at that point when rejection hits you at that point? Because sometimes people are rejected based on their beauty. Their looks. Oh, you don't look good. You don't look the part.
Okay, so earlier on, I made mention of the fact that 80% of the rejection you face has nothing to do with you. Could you believe I have had instances where I'm rejected because I'm too good to be true. And people go like, okay, no, you're too good. You're not for me. That kind of way. And I'm like, oh, people are rejected because they are good?
I know, right? When they feel good become a problem.
So this is when. So I've always had a mindset about myself. Joyce will bear testimony of it. That what comes from outside, that is outside my control, I don't really put focus on. If it's job that I'm looking for, and for instance, when I was doing my service, I was accounts and programs assistant. But then I knew accounts is not my field. I did political science. It's definitely not my field. And it's not like somebody who wanted to do accounting and was bound to do politics. No. It's solely government politics and diplomacy for me. So accounting was in my place. So if I'm looking for a full-time job, I know I want it in the space of programs management. So as I'm applying for program management roles, I see the criteria they are looking for. I see the key skills that people that they want to employ should have. I bear those in mind. And fortunately, some employers give you the reason why they are bouncing you. So I pick on these ones, build capacity in it, and volunteering on the other side to make sure that I'm really not just reading the skills to know about them, but I'm also applying and having a personal idea of it for myself. So back to the question on relationships. To me, I see rejection as a way of redirection and repositioning for me. When I'm in a space, I ask myself two questions. What am I getting from the space? And what am I giving out in the space? If I'm in a space where the people in the circle feels I'm too good for them, that is not the space for me.
Okay.
So I won't even identify it or describe it as rejection. I deem it to be, this is not the people for me. Let me go find my people. But there's the issue where people want to hold on to, oh, we grew up from the same community, we went to the same school, we've been friends for this long. I don't want to leave them. They are the only people I have. That's when rejection becomes bad and it starts hurting us. Sometimes when you are rejected, no, for me, most of the reasons that people have given me for rejecting me, good ones. No,
If you reject me based on this, then that's fine.
I remember the first time a friend of mine, we've been friends from high school, was a guy in another school. We've been friends, and I think my mom even knew about him. Like everybody knew about him. And I came to uni, and I think he was a year or two ahead of me. Calls me, I was heading towards night market. And we were talking and goes like, I don't want to be friends again because you don't say bad things, you don't do bad things. I don't like that kind of.
For real?
True. Like I remember exactly where I was standing so vividly. This is like about 8, 9 years ago. That should tell you how shocked I was. And fast forward after school, I've met people genuinely say that, oh, you're not good for me. And the funny one that I encountered, I never thought, I knew there was tribalism in Ghana, but I never thought the other way around for Ashantis. I've never heard anybody rejected for being an Ashanti. So I encountered somebody, this is very recent, like 2 or 3 years ago, and the person told me that Ashantis are wild, and so he doesn't like Ashantis. He can't see himself marrying an Ashanti. And I was like, since when? Since when? And there's nothing I can do about my tribe.
Yeah.
I'm 100%.
Asante. Asante, Ashanti.
I can't change my parents. Even if they all die,
You're
I'm
still-
still.
Best thing of that.
And whether the issue has to, and if you know me, you know wildness.
Yeah, she's far from out.
So then it brought my attention to the fact that people have
Perception.
countless reasons for making decisions. And so if somebody rejects me, if it's on a basis where bad character, you were rude, you are disrespectful, you are this, it's something that I can work on. I will let the person go, all right. I won't hold on to somebody rejecting me. I mean, life is
Yeah.
it's too huge for it. So I believe that as a young girl there, right there, listening to us, just know that you'll be rejected for reasonable reasons and you'll be rejected for unreasonable ones.
Yeah.
If the rejection is coming from a space where you have a negative character that you have to work on them. If you are bounced from a job application because you don't qualify, what do? Do you sit down and say that, oh, these people have been applying? And that's what a lot of young people are doing. They just keep applying for applying's sake. They don't.
When you sit down and reflect.
Exactly.
Why am I rejected?
Rejected. Your CVs are just scanted. You write emails anyhow, even you don't even know how to do your attachment. You just copy and just put anything there as the body of your email. Definitely it's going to be rejected. So you have to find the root of that rejection. Is it because of something I'm not doing right? If it's because of that, then you have to find a solution to it because the solution is within your means. But if it's something outside your control, like your tribe, like a potential employer telling you they can't pay you, honestly, they can't pay you.
It's no fault of yours.
I'm not here to bargain for something lesser than I deserve. So for such circumstances, there is not much I can do about it. The ones I can do about it, if it's my qualification that's not up to, I need to up my game. If it's my character I need to work on, I'm gonna work on it.
Quick one. I guess I'll be like the last round of questions. Girl groups, rejections, that people who don't have friends struggle to make friends. They make few friends and difference, they feel like they're being used. So no, maybe they're not the outgoing type. Oh, let's go out here. You go out, and you still don't feel accepted, and you've just not found that niche of people who say, "Oh, you're my friend," and people really want that support, that social support. People they can say, "Oh, my own, my friend, my best friend," and there are people who have had to lose friends for reasons that are very fickle, and they never sat down to have the conversation. People who have actually lost people who could have changed their lives, but because they were I'm calling rejection, things just didn't go right, and they never seemed to have that tough conversation you had to have as girlfriends. How do you deal with that? How do you ensure that you don't find yourself in? And if you actually are a young girl who has gone through that, or basically you've had to be rejected, or you don't have friends, or you've had friends and there's so much happening at that point. What do you do? How do you manage it?
Okay, so like I said, rejection. You can't is how do you say, it's inevitable. You can't run away from it.
Friendship wise, what do I do?
Friendship wise, first of all, you need to accept who you are. Love yourself before somebody else can love you. So at the point where you are not receiving that love from your friends, you are giving yourself that love. But you need to, before you even call somebody your friend, you should have worked with her or have that relationship for a number of years, maybe 2-3 years going. The other thing too is you need to understand that everybody has a different upbringing from home. How my parents trained me may be different from how your parents trained you. So when we come together, I may do something that I feel is okay, but to you is not okay. Then your friends will start behaving a certain way. Ladies are very fond of doing that. You may call somebody your bestie, but move in with the person
And then you realize that
for 2 weeks, 1 month, you feel like, hey. And so, as you are growing, I always say emotional intelligence is key. When you are faced with that rejection from your friend, maybe the person is not in a good mood, there's something wrong with the person, even if it's a huge number, maybe we have different temperaments. You need to understand those temperaments and see how you can navigate through. Or when you even face that rejection, if you have some cool time or find some time and talk to your friend. Why is she even your friend when you cannot be open and have an open conversation that what you did to me hurts my feelings, so that you are not always quelled in? Because guess what, when you are quelled in, you are depressed, and then it affects other things. If you don't even take care, you even extend that feeling, that rejection feeling, to others. The way you were rejected, that you didn't like it, work on yourself, grow, or get past it, so that you don't you don't let someone feel that bad, like the way someone made you feel. So I think that amongst groups, or even when it's becoming very toxic, then you have to walk away. If it's becoming an environment or a space where you don't think it's working for you, your friends are supposed to motivate you. They're supposed to be there for you. They're supposed to push you. Keep going. You can do this. If you're not getting that, and whatever you're doing, they are rather either jealous or they envy you. They are not your friends.
But once I be lonely, Mina, once that, it's like now people I see this trend on social media. I have no friends. Like they say, people.
Yeah.
But we believe in a system that requires social support. Wouldn't that be lonely? When a lot of people that have rejected me, or I also have to reject people because I'm not attracting the right ones. Is that a lonely journey?
It's beyond even loneliness. I think it's very depressive. Being all alone. I mean, no one is on an island. You have to be able to confidently say that this person likes me, and I'm a happy person. Everybody who knows me as such. And I always sit down and think through and say, I'm happy because I have people I know genuinely loves me. And these are not people that are related to me by blood, but people who have met me and they liked me, I liked them, and I'm flowing. So I'm able to live my life to be happy and peaceful with myself and with others. So if you genuinely want to make friends, I never used to be a people's person. And I remember when I was kid, I'll go out, be active, be hyper, then come home. My friends will come and visit me, and I'll go and hide, tell my mom to tell them I'm not there. And now my mom sees me with my friends. I'm taking pictures, like we've gone out, and she's so happy because that's her miracle. Because at a point, even both my parents were not sure I may have friends. One thing I learned was when I made a decision to start making friends. I can't do life alone. I lost a brother, I lost a father, like, and processing things. People don't really know what's going on with you, so they're not able to position themselves to be of help to you. So when those circumstances happened, I saw the need to make friends. So I started from reading how to make friends, how to make friends. Yeah, this red and yellow cover. It was a popular book when I was in high school. I read it. I tried. Well, in high school, it was a girls' school, and I wasn't happy in there, so I didn't really make the effort. So one thing I've got to realize is that most of us always look at what we are gaining from our friends. We want support. We want people to listen to us, but we don't listen to them.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we feel that the group is not providing us the essence for which we are part of. And that's one thing I've realized with female circles. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with one of my female friends, and I was telling her that she knows that issues with relationship amongst our friends group, I hardly discuss that with her. But for other matters, she's the one I discuss with her. And I was setting an example that there is this other friend who is up to date when it comes to that aspect of my life. And it's simply because when she can call you randomly, and that's the conversation she's pulling up. And so no matter what, until I meet Joyce and we are catching up, she's not gonna know that aspect. But because this friend is the one close by, getting to know all the information. So if you are in the friend group and you feel she knows more than I do and gets creates the whole toxic situation in your head, it's just in your head. So first off, ask yourself, what am I giving in that relationship and what am I taking out of it? Some of us are so fixated on what we are given. So it gets to a point we get tired because we feel we are just giving and not receiving. But I've really taken a pause to see what am I gaining from this friendship? And you realize that there's a lot. I don't talk to Joyce every day, maybe after a year or two. But when we get on the phone, we speak for 2 hours. So I won't complain that she doesn't call me. She's still my friend. But somebody who calls me weekly may know weekly affairs.
Yeah.
But she went out really, and she gets all the information the weekly person gets. Understand it that way, and you're happy. You get this. So yes, I think most of us get crushed because of our expectations.
Yeah.
So we started this journey talking about rejection in the career space, rejection that we faced in life, the times that life knocked us down. And we moved on to talk about rejection within relationships and more rejection in friendships. Your last words to the young girl out there.
To the girl who can, rejection will hit you in some time or some parts of your life, but you have to revive, refocus, reposition, and keep going. Let your goal be the drive. Let that thing, what you want to see, push you. When you are hit with rejection, don't even pay. You may fall, you may be affected a little bit, but gather your pieces always. Seek help when necessary. Get mentors. Mentors are actually good. They help you. I like to thank Mrs. Linda Boama Asante, the Deputy CEO for MP, for mentoring me. I'm a mentee for her. So she always gives us a book to read every month. And it's part of building your capacity. So rejection will come. Find yourself in informative and educative groups. Get people you look up to help you sail through this phase of your life. So be the girl who can, and yeah, achieve your dream and be happy, be peaceful, make good friends. Yeah, that's those are, but yeah.
Being good friends. Mina, last words to the lady watching.
Yes, I will repeat what the statement I made earlier on, that 80% of the rejection you faced has nothing to do with you. So when it happens, stop that personal mourning that it's your fault. It's not your fault. Secondly, how you define rejection goes a long way to define your attitude towards it. So be clear on the cause of your rejection, what that rejection means. Does it mean you have to go better yourself, or does it mean you have to change direction and refocus on something else? Yes. So when that is clear, then you make the right decision. But always remember that rejection, for the most part, is for you to sit back, assess yourself, and present yourself better than before. And if it comes to the terms of relationship, ask yourself, am I a good person for the other party? What am I offering? And as you give, open yourself up to receive. Because with that receiving in friendship, you're going to get tired, you're going to break down. So it's okay to receive the effort you give into the relationship. It may not come in the shape and the form you expected, but still there should be that level of receipt of something from that engagement.
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The girl who can. The time is now. So I say the girl who can, you say the time is now. Super excited that we've had this great conversation with Mina Ewoenam. You can follow us on the girl who can _GH on Instagram, the girl who can on Facebook. You can also call us 0243664094 if you have any interesting stories about girls that are transforming the world, and we would be excited to have you on our show. Makeup by Kayla Beauty, Kayla_beauty_studio on Instagram. You can also contact Ophelia Wakes for your wakes. It's been great. The girl who can. The time is now. It's Sarah. Take a look.
Thank you.